Sumptuous. Delectable. Enticing. Luscious. A taste of world-class Filipino talent. Pinoy Lokal presents Pinoy Chefs.
And yes, we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Magandang umaga, tanghali, gabi sa amang kayong parte ng mundo. Welcome to another episode of Pinoy Lokal, presenting Pinoy Chefs. Partner, how are you? Chef Crizel?
Hi! Chef Crizel. Daddy ko lang yung chef. Pero ako, pacham. Pachamba-chamba. But anyway, guys, magandang tanghali dito sa Pilipinas. Nakakagutom, Benny. May mga nag-message actually sa akin from the last show, yung first episode natin, which is a success. Congratulations, partner.
Congratulations.
Maraming
Thank you.
Filipinos. There's a lot of Filipinos who just messaged me after the show na sabi na ginutom daw sila sa show natin. Which
That is
is,
true.
I am very happy because we are not only uplifting the Filipinos around the world, but also we're helping also now the chefs na makilala sa buong mundo kasi alam mo, maraming Pilipino talagang magagaling magluto. Alam mo yan, partner,
That
di
is
ba?
true. Mm-mm.
And this show, I'm so proud with this show because we are not only showcasing them in the Philippines, but also around the world. So partner, ano masasabi mo?
Well, sa totoo lang, ang Filipinos kasi really have a good taste when it comes to food.
True, agree. Agree
Kaya,
ako dyan.
kaya naman, we are proud to present to you a series of top world-class Pinoy chefs from around the world. And with no further ado, another top chef from Portland, Oregon. Please welcome Chef Rommel Mendoza. Chef Rommel, welcome to Pinoy Lokal.
Hello, chef.
Hi, how are you?
Ayan.
We're good. Kindly greet our fans, followers, viewers, your family who are watching right now. Go ahead and give them a big shout out.
Hello. First of all, thank you guys for having me. I'm so honored to be on your show here. Big shout out, first of all, to, of course, my family here in the Hillsboro, Oregon area. But then also, I do have my family, immediate family out in the East Coast in Northern Virginia. Mom, Dad, if you're watching, hey, how you doing? I'm on the internet. How about that, huh? I did something right for myself for once. Anyways, my brother, my nephews, all my nieces, my relatives over there in the East Coast, as well as even in California, Southern California to Northern California, my aunts and uncles and cousins, and then also my family in the Philippines, in Bulacan, in a small town called Bombong, where I grew up when I was young, and also up where my mother's from in La Union, in Aringay, San Carlos area. Also in Baguio City, got relatives up there. So everyone, thank you for watching me. Thank you for following me. My Instagram followers. It wouldn't be I wouldn't be where I'm at without you guys, actually, especially with the food truck, and we'll talk about that later. And then also my friends and family from high school, on Facebook, and wherever else you guys are in the world, man. Thank you very much for keeping the faith, praying for me, and of course following me. Thank you.
Nice. So, Chef Rommel, you are from the north. You are from the northern part of the Philippines, and you
Yes.
said your family roots are from La Union. I have family from La Union and Baguio City as well. I was born in Baguio City. But were you born in the Philippines or here in Oregon?
Yes, I was actually born in the Philippines. I was born in the
Oh.
Philippines at Veterans Hospital in Quezon City.
Oh, that's near my
Oh,
place.
Yeah, yeah.
Literally near my place.
And then,
Wow.
yeah, but then I left there when I was 5 years old, and my of course
Fine.
my mother, she first came to the United States, and then we followed her, my dad, my brother, and I, and then we followed her to California, and then we lived in California for a little bit while my dad actually joined the U.S. military. So, and then from that point on, we traveled the United States because my dad being stationed in various places, and then from California to New Jersey, and then New Jersey to Hawaii, then from Hawaii to Massachusetts, and then from Massachusetts, we lived in Europe for actually 4 years. That's where I went to high school in American High School,
wow.
Heidelberg High School. Shout out to my Heidelberg family if they're on here watching. But after Heidelberg High School, or after Heidelberg, my dad got stationed over to the Pentagon, U.S. Pentagon in Northern Virginia. And Virginia was actually home to me for nearly almost 30 years. So,
Wow, you stayed that long in the East Coast.
yeah. But then, and after that, of course, my previous job, before being self-employed, I took me actually to the West Coast, and we've been here in the Portland, Oregon, East, Hillsboro area for going on 7 years now.
Oh, okay. 7
Oh,
years.
wow.
You've been moving a lot. And talking about military, thanks for your dad service, because today in the States is
Yes.
Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day.
To all those who serve and still serving, happy Veterans Day. Okay, to start off, Chef Rommel, my very first question, of course, for our chef, how did you start cooking? How old were you when you got your first interest in hanging out in the kitchen? Would you still recall?
Yeah, I think it's, of course, just watching my mother cooking, cooking all this delicious Filipino food, because that's what I grew up with, and it's just watching her. And I think probably at a not so young age, maybe in my early teens, I started to maybe start asking her questions about what did she do to make it taste this way and that way and so on. But then, I actually got into the culinary world rather late because, I was in the corporate America world in the wireless phone industry before it actually blew up to what it is now. But then once I got out of the corporate world, my mother, she gave me one of the best advices is to, why don't you, since you like to cook so much, why don't you enroll in culinary school? But I mean, prior to even going to culinary school, when I used to, maybe throw parties at my house and so on, I would always entertain my guests, but then they knew that the only way I would cook is if the rule was, if you stay and you're still awake, I will cook, and then of course after midnight. So people, of course, would try to stay, as long as they can, because they know I would have that knack of cooking after, just to feed my guests after all that drinking and partying. So. That was my early teens maybe. And then from that point on, even to the point where I had my brothers and my friends, they would call me up. Even if I didn't go out with them, they would call me up and they asked me, is the kitchen open? Meaning, is it okay for them to come over to my place and for me to cook for them? I was like, yeah, come over. I'm still awake. And then the funny thing is that they would actually, they joke around saying, well, how much are we going to pay you? Because rather than going to, say, Denny's or whatever, these late night restaurants, they would rather pay me. I was like, no, it's for free. I enjoy you guys coming over. But then, and I wouldn't accept their money. But then the next day I would actually find money hidden in my kitchen. So I was like, no,
so nice.
Yeah, I'm like, they're actually paying me for this. I was like,
which is good.
So, but
would you still remember? Would you still remember the first dish that you cooked back when you were a teenager?
Oh, yeah. It was actually a garlic chicken and potatoes.
Yummy.
Yeah, it was a straight Italian. It's a straight Italian dish that I learned from one of my friends, and he made it one night, and I was like, "You teach me how to make that." Of course, other than my mother's cooking with the adobo and the bistec and so on, but non Filipino dishes, it was that garlic chicken and potatoes, and it was so delightful because it was so creamy and had the Parmesan cheese in there, and then
it makes me hungry.
Right. And it just blended well, and I was like, I'm gonna put this over rice because we match everything with rice. So and he taught me that, and next thing you know, he started teaching me. And it was actually my friend Long. He passed away not too long ago actually, but I do remember he was a Vietnamese a friend of mine, and he knew how to cook, and I was so impressed with the way he handled himself in the kitchen. And he taught me that, and he was teaching me how Vietnamese would make sweet and sour chicken, and
Yeah,
and
because
those.
they have a lot of flavors in Vietnam, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So and that's probably one of the first dishes I knew how to make and then master it, and then I started feeding my friends with it, and then I started, of course, learning a lot more dishes on my own. So
So, would you think it's a big advantage that you've already learned cooking when you were a teenager, and then cooking is just your passion
I
ever
think
since
so.
then?
Yeah,
Before you went to being corporate.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I definitely enjoyed cooking because I mean, it to me, and even now, it's still is an escape for me. So I mean, even back then, I totally enjoyed it. It would just take me away from maybe not, maybe the stresses of life and so on. I just pick up a knife and start slicing an onion, and the next thing you know, I start creating things with what I just started with. So
Nice.
Mhm.
and that's how I feel to this day. It's I mean, I tell people that I have a hobby, not a job, because
Ooh, actually that's a nice,
yeah,
vision in putting up a restaurant or any business related with cooking. But here's the question:
yes.
when did you really start? Like, I want to put up something that makes me happy. Cooking, I want this as a business. When did it really start?
Well,
Can you
yeah,
tell us about it?
sure. I mean, of course, I did enroll in after the great advice my mother gave me of enrolling in culinary school. I did that, and I do have a degree in communication, so a lot of my general ed classes transferred over. So I just had to take a lot of the core cooking classes, and I just finished all that within a 2.5 years without taking a break. But then, of course, I went in there thinking, oh, I know everything about cooking and this and that, and I shouldn't have had that big head because my head is already big as it is. But then it humbled me because I started to learn a lot of terms and things that I didn't really realize, and to this day I still use those things. But I after culinary school, I mean during culinary school, I actually worked full time in an Italian restaurant, learned how to make pizza and Italian dishes and all the sauces and so on. And culinary school is, I think, a good foundation for those individuals that want to go into the field. But then again, getting that experience in an actual kitchen is what actually made me the person I am now. And then,
Do you, oh yeah,
yep, go ahead.
okay. I mean, because a lot of Filipinos know how to cook, right?
Right,
Do
right.
you advise, like, here in the Philippines, you don't have to be? I mean, I'm not saying everyone is a chef, but nowadays it's important to go in a culinary school
Yes.
before being a chef, right? Would you advise that people should study in a culinary school?
Absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. It's a great foundation.
Mhm.
Because you're gonna know how you don't want to cut your fingers first of all. If you can say, oh, I can cut all this and that, but no, you need the proper techniques, and that's where that foundation comes from. But then of course, being the stresses of being in the kitchen, you're not really gonna feel that in culinary school unless you're gonna do a banquet or a party at the school itself. But then yes, culinary school, very very important. I think it's very important. And then,
and
like
and
I was saying,
I
uh-huh.
I've learned that tuition for culinary arts is really expensive. Because
Yeah,
my son is
even
in culinary school. He's
Yeah.
on his second year,
Yes.
and oh my gosh, it's really
Yeah.
even the
quite expensive.
materials that's used, right? They're
Yeah.
expensive, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. And I was just fortunate enough that I did have some money saved up, and of course, I paid as much as I can, and then I paid the monthly, and then I did pay for my entire tuition on my own without having to rely on, the help of my parents and so on. So, but yeah, it is expensive, but then again, you are investing in your future. And again, it's well worth it. I think to actually go, and again, just it's the groundwork, it's the foundation that I think that's important for any culinarian or a student that's interested in the arts to actually go and attend and learn. Because you're gonna get the knowledge from not just one instructor, from maybe various instructors, as well as even some of your classmates, because they might be working in the kitchen now, and you can learn some things from them. And I try to of course learn things from even the newest person, because not one person in the world knows how to cook everything. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Correct.
Even the techniques and everything, right?
Oh,
Actually,
absolutely.
I've learned from my son just last year the right way of holding the knife when you're slicing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See.
All
that's
these
true.
years, I thought it
That's
was the
true.
handle, but it's not. It
Yeah.
should be the blade.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's it. Yeah. The blade. Yeah. The
That's
blade. Yeah.
true.
Yeah. And curl your fingers. You gotta curl
but
your
it,
fingers.
but it hurts though, Rommel. When I hold it like for a couple of minutes, it hurts already. Not holding the handle itself.
Uh-huh. I think
So
Yeah,
it's
but
just a matter of getting used to, and also what you're also what's more comfortable for you. I mean, if you're comfortable of holding the handle, then yeah, of course, definitely hold the handle. But the most important thing is don't slice your fingers. You know.
yeah, techniques are also really hard. It's not that easy, right?
Yeah.
But um, can I just read this because we want to say hi first to our
Please.
viewers right now, partner,
Mhm.
please. I would
All
like
right,
to say hi to Santi of United Productions. Thank
Sir
you for
Santi.
always
Hello, United
supporting.
Production,
Please do share this show so everyone can watch. Hi
and
to
learn.
Yeah, Adrian.
Yep, Adrian
Filipino food
Bukalu,
Yan. Filipino Food Month in Oregon. Oh, wow. Okay. And here's
Yuma,
North
NC.
Carolina. Hello, hello to you.
Hello,
And
hello.
here's a Facebook user that has no name and picture.
A chef is a trained professional cook and tradesman who is proficient in all aspects of food preparation, often focusing on a particular cuisine. There you go. Talking about
Okay.
talking about particular cuisine, do you have a favorite other than Filipino cuisine, Chef Rommel? Since
Oh,
you've
Aside
been
from the
since you've
chicken
been
and parmesan
traveling, since you've
that
been
you're
traveling all
making.
around the world.
I love. Yeah. I mean, of course, being able to live in Europe. I mean, even when I was in Europe, it's not. I wasn't in the culinary field yet, but then again, I got to taste a lot of the food in the various countries. But I to this day I can eat pasta like there's no other. I love pasta, and it showed a few years ago when I gained a lot of weight where I couldn't stop eating pasta. you know, because it's just I don't know. There's just I guess
Tell
it's
me
just
about it.
the Italian. It's the Italian rice. How I look at it. You know.
Uh,
And yeah, I love Italian food. I really do. And I mean, there was a point where when I lived in the East Coast, where I was, I lived actually I owned a townhouse, and our backyard wasn't so big, but then I covered the yard level, and I put plywood down there, and I actually had maybe 10 tomato plants, and I started to actually make my own tomato sauce, and of course I learned how to make fresh pasta by hand and so on, and it blew my mind how there's the difference of having your making your own pasta sauce as well,
Pasta, yeah.
mhm.
and also even making your own pasta. So, but yeah, I love Italian food. It's hard to say. I mean, I lived in Germany for 4 years, so all the German schnitzel and the spätzle and all that stuff, even the pretzels,
Frankfurters.
it's all good,
Yeah.
Chef Romel, with all the countries and places that you have visited, what is how do you call this? That is really a perfect taste for a Filipino. Yung medyo humahabol sa panlasang Filipino.
Right.
Which
Oh,
country would you have you visited?
right. I have. I want. I definitely. I have to mention Spain
Spain.
because it's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because we're close enough to their foods, right? Mm.
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, their hospitality is bar none. Just almost just like, of course, Filipino hospitality. They're one of the Spaniards are one of the kindest people that I've ever met. Just living overseas, and I got to go to Spain for at least a week, and even just going into the restaurants and so on. They're such kind souls over there, and again, their food is just again it's just almost like ours. Tapas. That's one thing I didn't mention about was my favorite. I can't say what my favorite has been.
Because
I
it's a
just
lot,
remember
huh?
tapas. I just remember the tapas. The tapas, any tapas is from a Spanish establishment is so delicious. Because they each tapa place or establishment has their own way of making their tapas. So, but yeah, it's I think Spain is probably one of my favorite countries to go to. when we lived in Europe. So, but then
And
again, you know,
that would
yeah.
be like the closest ingredient or recipe for a Filipino taste.
I
Absolutely,
think
absolutely.
our taste will acquire more in that
Yes,
country, right?
yes,
Okay.
yes, absolutely.
Bucket list,
Yes,
Spain.
yes. Spain. Oh my gosh, it's so
You
beautiful.
know,
And
here in the Philippines, we have a lot of Spanish restaurants here, actually. But now the Koreans are invading
oh
Philippines
no.
because
So,
it's true. The samyupsal and everything, the grill and everything, they're really.
oh wow.
That's why everyone's a chef here.
Oh wow.
They
That's
grill it
great.
in front of you. But yeah, speaking of Spain acquiring the taste of Filipino, which of your dishes is really the most popular
The
that
best
has
seller, Chef
highest
Romel.
sales on your
Oh, on my food truck. Oh, right now it's the lechon kawali. I
Oh,
put
lechon
yeah. I
lechon
saw the
kawali.
picture.
Oh my god.
It
It's
looks really crunchy.
it's yeah, it's crazy because you know I first you know at first I of course the adobo was making its was the most popular after a while because you know something I wanted to share with the general audience is just you know our adobo. But then after that I started bringing the lechon kawale out and it was just I already knew what they were going to order. I mean, I just started actually laughing at the customer and like, okay, lechon kawale. I know lechon kawale, lechon kawale, you know, so it's just you know you get all those orders all at the same time because that's what they want. But then again, I also introduced the Filipino pork barbecue and also the barbecue chicken. And you know how we Filipinos we have a special marinade because I truly believe I so believe that Filipino barbecue is such an undiscovered barbecue. You know,
That
Yeah,
is
it's
true.
that's true.
That is
That's
true.
true.
and then once they actually taste it, they're like so amazed. But then I've
Mm.
actually been I wanted to see just recently I've been having the lechon kawale and the pork barbecue go up against each other, and it's been close. It's been a close race between the two, but the kawale is still the number one choice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's
looks
still a
And
really
talking
number
about,
one,
good.
and the pork barbecue is a second place, close second, I should say.
Oh,
and
Yeah.
talking about Chef Romel's food truck, ladies and gentlemen, guys, here's the transformation of Chef Romel's food truck. Let's watch. Here's a video clip of it. Here we go.
Yeah.
Wow, that's what you call fully loaded, Chef Romel.
Thank you. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right. Wow. If you could just share to us,
really
Chef Romel.
nice.
So that was a former school bus that
Yes.
you just customized it into a food truck.
Yes.
And wow,
Yeah, the story behind that is, of course, I'm a big advocate of our cuisine and culture, and I've been pushing our cuisine and culture as much as I can, even when I was in the corporate dining world for the 10 years prior to the pandemic. But when I got the food truck, I said to myself, what in the Philippines is the closest thing to portray here in the United States? And it was the Filipino jeepney. The jeepney says a lot about the Philippines, and
True.
what did I say to I said to myself, I was like, what here is the closest thing to a jeepney? And I said, it's the school bus. I'm not gonna find any
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
here. So
Yeah.
I went online, and then happy to see that one person actually who purchases school buses and he sells them out to the public and so on. I found him online, and he gave me a good price, and there was not a lot of nothing wrong with it. I had a mechanic check it and so on, and next thing you know, it was in my hands for a few hours after I pulled out of the parking lot, and I drove it straight to the builder in Portland. And then after that, it took him, it was in line. He's a popular builder. Shout out to PDX Cart Builders out there in Portland, and the owner of the place, John, he actually was a Navy veteran, and he was stationed in the Philippines. So
Oh, okay.
Oh,
He
nice.
knows our food.
so he knew what I was talking about, and he just said, "That's such a great idea." I was like, "I know, isn't it? Great idea." So and so he took care of me, and he did the best he can, and he did such a phenomenal job with it. And then after, as you see, when it was rolling out there, one of his employees drove it out of the big warehouse for me. I took it straight to Portland Custom Wraps, maybe a few miles away from there, and they kept it for about 7 days to wrap it up. And then the funny thing, the head person who wrapped the food truck itself, he's married to a Filipina, so he
Oh, nice.
so he took extra careful. He was very extra careful on putting every vinyl wrap design on it, because he knew that it was going to be something different and something special, and it has been, and it's definitely I think a head turner. Every time I'm at a traffic light, people are staring at me, so I'm honking my horn and waving at them and so on. So and then it does, and as you see, the truck does have a lot of meaning to it, especially the back of the truck. I don't know if you guys got the
Yeah.
chance to see that right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The top right hand corner.
Places in the Philippines.
Yes,
Rice terraces. Yeah.
yeah, the Luneta Park is right there, and across on the left is actually Boracay Beach, and then you
Oh,
have
yes, it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. I didn't notice that.
the Luneta Park right there in the right corner. Below Luneta Park is the Banawe white rice patties,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
then because it is like considered one of the wonders of the world, and then beside the rice patties is actually my mother's and our ancestral home in Aringay.
Oh,
Oh,
in La Union.
Yeah,
wow. Okay.
I had my cousin. I was like, I need to take for you to take a picture of our ancestral home, and she did, and she sent it to me. And then after that, they fine tuned, took out the graininess of the photo itself, and then I had to put it on there just to give respect to my family, And my mother really loved the idea of that. So, and I still remember my cousin throwing candy during Christmas on one of the top balconies there to us.
It, it's really nice because it also has the Philippine flag on top of it,
Yes,
right?
yes, the Philippine flag
The
is right
con-
there on the side, and
yeah.
of course the spoon, some of the vegetables and so on.
The
So
vegetables, really.
Yeah.
Yep, we are
Concept
so
is
rich
really
in
nice.
vegetables in the
yeah,
Philippines.
and just to show you on the back itself, if you could see it, I actually have during the pandemic, of course, I developed my online store. I expanded my online store, Mendoza Food Alliance, but then the little logos there are the brands that I created during the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
But speaking of pandemic, Chef Rommel,
yes.
how did it really affect you? Like, did it make you a more profitable
Well, I think
businessman, or it really had a loose impact with you?
it had I don't say I shouldn't say it was a bad impact, but I think in a way it was bad, but then it was also a blessing, because during the pandemic, of course, I was during that time I was a VP of culinary for a major, actually for the largest minority owned food service company in the United States, Thompson Hospitality. I was their
Oh, okay.
VP of
Oh,
culinary.
Wow.
nice.
So I my territory was the United States and Canada. and I got to actually fly to France to do an event over in France as well. But yeah, I overlooked their brands. I created retail brands for them, and I did events, speaking engagements, and so on. So I was in charge of the culinary for the joint venture department. And I did that for 10 years. And of course, come March 2 years ago, March 2020, I celebrated my 10th year. But then towards the end of March is when I got my call of me being furloughed. So after being furloughed, they still kept me on board. But then towards the end of the summer, I got the call saying that they had to let me go. So, and truth be known, I've never shared this with anyone, but I actually, when I got that call, I actually sat in my room and cried a little bit, because I didn't know what I was going to do, because I've never been let go. I never been terminated or anything like that. And I did a lot of praying, and I prayed, and then I don't know. I prayer is such a powerful thing in our faith, in the Catholic religion.
Sure.
So powerful. And I think God actually listened, and he led me to where I'm at now, because I stopped. I just stopped crying, and then after that, he said, just basically expand my online store that I had, because at that time I already had an online store established, because I did write the book, and then I started developing the different brands, and then people were actually starting to order from me already, because even when I was with Thompson Hospitality, when I do events, of course, I'm cooking Filipino food, but then I bring the show. I call it the show because I bring my products with me, and I bring my books with me. I do book signings, picture takings, and I sell my products to the customers. And I was able to actually expand my online store and start selling locally, as well as even shipping nationwide. And then I started making siopao, and then the lumpia, and then the different types of
Lumpia.
miso, and
Yeah.
all that stuff. And then that sustained us for a while. And of course, a little help, help from my parents as well, to help us get by. And again, I think it was the blessing, because I did have money saved up, and I said, you know what, we're still in the pandemic. I think I'm gonna get a food truck. I want to get a food truck. And then of course, that's when the story with finding the guy who sold the bus and everything. And that's
So the
how
food truck was established just during the pandemic.
Pandemic.
2020
yeah,
or
actually,
2021.
it was.
Wow.
Oh, so recently.
So
I
so
just
it never
uh-huh.
so it never like really stop you for being creative and being a businessman, right?
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, that's why the pandemic was more like it was hurtful, but then it was also a blessing, because again, it made me dig deeper and like, okay, I want to pursue this. I really want to do this, and that's what it did. Now I established a following, of course, with my product. I actually have to make some gluten-free siopao for a customer that just placed an order not too long ago. No one makes gluten-free siopao, but I do. I make that. And and I still get orders from across the nation as well. And then now with the food truck, yes, it hasn't stopped. And then I just launched my food truck. Actually, my first day was July 31st when I launched this year.
This year.
Oh, okay. So
Oh, it's still
this year you
new.
Yes,
launched.
and
Okay.
Wow,
it was the
congratulations,
hottest.
chef.
It was, Benny, you probably remember, it was the hottest day of the
Yes,
summer.
it was.
Remember we had that big
100.
heat wave.
Yes.
It was 105 degrees when I went out the first day. So of course
Wow.
you got a metal food truck, and I had a portable heater or air conditioning that
Air
actually
conditioning.
with the tube going out and everything. And
Mhm.
it's a powerful AC unit, but it didn't
But
do
still.
anything because
Did it work?
the service window was
It
open.
was really hot. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so you figure it was 105 degrees outside, so it was probably about 115, 120 inside the truck.
Hopefully you were not wearing a black shirt that day.
Oh no, I think I was probably wearing my chef shirt.
Oh, that's more.
Yeah.
For you guys who are not aware, Chef Rommel also is an author. He has his own book.
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Maybe you want to promote it?
Yeah, I wrote this book back in 2017, and that's actually when I worked for Thompson Hospitality. They gave me the okay to actually promote it during my travels, and that's when I really started to push Filipino food and culture. It's called Prefi. A lot of people think it's Prix Fix, but it's actually a French term, Prefi, made in the USA by a Filipino, memoirs and recipes of the traveling chef. And I was known as the traveling chef back then because I mean I think I had the best job, but then I actually, it allowed me to spread our food and culture into the corporate dining world. And it's a lot of people don't know what the corporate dining world is. Just a little background on that. It's actually the dining facilities inside universities and hospitals and
Mhm.
corporate buildings and stadiums and convention centers. That's considered corporate dining, and that's what I was in for the past, when 10 years prior to the pandemic. So I was able to promote my book and promote Filipino culture and food, and it did quite well. I did a lot of book signings with it, and it got me, of course, to it helped me to get to where I'm at, in life. So, and again, I think the most important thing again is to push our culture to the
Yeah.
general public, especially those who have never even tried Filipino food. So,
Wow, good
and I
job.
tell people, and I tell them, I was like, you know what? Once you try it, you're gonna be hooked, and it's so true. You
It's
know,
true. Yeah.
you give them pork adobo and rice, they're hooked. I'm telling you now.
Well,
So
more with the crunch up your lich. Mali.
do you have
Oh
any
yeah, I know.
employees, Chef Romel, or you're just solo? Do you have any employees, or
You know,
you're doing it
the
solo?
funny thing you mentioned that, Benny, is that I actually hired my first employee about a week ago. Yeah,
Oh, so it's
Oh,
just you
so
and
it's
yeah,
all
one of
you.
the
yeah.
two of you
The whole time, it's just been me. It's been me doing everything.
solo.
Yeah,
You're,
from the online store to the prepping to the cooking,
Oh,
to even
wow.
the truck within the past 3 months. It's been all me. So it's I knew it was gonna happen. It's just the fact that it's gonna be hard, and but
Yeah.
I think but the most important thing is that I just wanted to make sure I still had time for my boys and my
Mhm.
At
family.
one point, did you ever like felt and it's a routine that makes you like I'm so tired of it, or
Oh yeah, of
sometimes
course.
I give up
Yeah,
or
I'm
anything.
having I'm
Did that
having carpal
happen to
tunnel
you?
You know
syndrome or
what?
tennis elbow.
Yeah,
My
you know it's
hands
funny.
are getting numb.
Because it's
My,
all you.
oh yeah, well my first day actually. Let me share this story. My first day out, 105 degrees outside, about 120 degrees in the truck, and I'm just like, okay. And they're like, you can come in the lobby to cool down a little bit, and I was like, I appreciate that. So I would go in the lobby just to cool off a little bit, and I'm talking to myself like, "What are you doing? You're too old for this." And then and then after that, I see customers walk up to the truck. I was like, "Oh, look, customers!" So I run back out there, and there you go. So, but no, it's just it is stressful. But then the thing is that this is what I do, and like I told you in the beginning of the show is that I do it's a hobby. It's not a job for me, and it just brings me so much joy when I'm serving someone and then they come back to the truck and say that food was really good. Thank you very much. And that's all it takes, and or a nice comment on social media or just like, wow, I can't believe there's a Filipino food truck here. I haven't had Filipino food in such a long time. Those are the things that just keeps me going, and I just don't want to stop until I feed every person or have them
Mhm.
try one bit of Filipino food have it in their bodies.
But now
So
that you have a food truck, do you have like a specific spot or a specific schedule that you go through?
oh, good question.
MWF, I'll be in Portland. PTHS, I'll be in Tualatin or
Yeah,
Tigard, something
great.
like that.
That's a great question, Benny, because I get that a lot because a lot of people ask me where are you parked at. You know what? I can honestly say I'm not parked anywhere, and that was the difference of me getting a
Catch me
food
if you
truck
can.
compared to a food court. Yeah.
It's a surprise.
And yeah, and that was the reason being of getting a food truck rather than a food cart because I want to be mobile. I want to go to the people rather than the people come to me. And right now, I do post my schedule on social media, and but then
Nice. Okay.
especially during the day, I'm at business centers, so I cater to the business clientele. So either corporate
Okay.
centers, business centers, and then at the evening time, I'll cater to the apartment complexes. So I have customers, whether it's the business center or even customers at the apartment complexes. So it's
Nice. Okay.
it's a win-win for wherever I go. So, but yeah, I'm
So
not really like I said, I'm not
early
parked.
in the day, so early in the day, what you do is you post your schedule where
Yes,
you're gonna be at.
yes, yes.
Smart.
And I know I'm actually going to start I'm gonna start getting better at it, or I'm gonna post it actually prior to before even
Yeah,
next
you should.
morning. it's, it's
So
on a
they'll
to
know.
it's on a to-do list.
But you don't get any parking tickets, are you? Or you don't get any any tickets from the traffic or
Violations.
something
Oh no,
violation?
no, no.
Yeah.
These are approved locations where I go to.
Oh,
Okay.
There
okay.
Do
has already
you?
been. I do have an event coordinator that actually helps me get these places, but then I
Oh,
also
Oh,
there's
nice.
that's
places
nice.
there's also places that I actually found myself, especially in the apartment complexes. So either or, but yeah, these places have already been approved. I mean, if
That's
there's
good.
a if I'm driving around and there's an apartment complex that I've never been to, I'll go in there, introduce myself, and say, I'm Chef Rommel. I do have a food truck, and and the first question is, what type of
Here's
food
my
do you
permit.
yeah, and I said, and I asked them, he asked me, what type of food do you sell? And once I mentioned Filipino, their eyes light up. Like, oh my God,
Oh,
yes.
nice.
And I start showing them pictures of my food truck and everything. So that's how I'm able to get these apartment
Mm.
complexes on finding my own. So other than, of course, using my
The reason, the
event
reason,
coordinator.
yeah, the reason
Yeah.
I asked because when was the last time you went home in the Philippines?
Oh my goodness, 1993, and I
So
remember.
1993.
Oh, that's
So
so fun.
here's the
Yeah, long
thing,
time.
Chef Romel. When you go home in the Philippines, some vendors would just go to the waiting shed and they'll say, "This is my turf. This is my
Yeah,
puesto."
Oh
that's
my God,
true.
really?
without
That's
without
true.
without any permit, I'm gonna sell fish balls and barbecue.
No
That's
kidding.
true. The street foods. Yeah.
Yes, that's awesome. Well, I know. The rule in Oregon is that they're the establishments, whether it's a business complex or apartment complexes, they're not permitted to have no more than one food truck at any given
Gotcha.
time. Yeah, so
Okay.
Oh,
that
okay.
helps every food truck operator out there. So, but I think
Ac-
the bigger
yeah.
festivals and the bigger events, that yeah, that's they have to get the permit from the health department to allow more food trucks on there. So.
Here in the Philippines, chef, we call it nowadays a pop-up truck.
Okay,
Here in
okay.
the Philippines, yeah, yeah, maybe
Pop-up
you
truck.
can
Okay.
use it there, yeah, because there are schedules that are posted also on
Hmm.
Facebook. Like, for example, this ramen truck will be in this place, so everyone really goes. But speaking of the pop-up truck, it's how is it hard to compete with other truck stores there, like truck restaurants as well?
Well, it's
Is it really hard, or it's because you're known, or your uniqueness is really like
well. I
really
think
enticing?
yeah. I think. I mean, just to answer your question, I think it's there really hasn't been too much competition for me because, like I said,
Competition,
first of
yeah.
all, it's just they only allow one truck there. But then again, if I did go to a festival, yeah, let me share this is I did get invited to an international festival where there was two other food trucks there. I think a German bratwurst truck and also I think they're selling snow cones or some desserts, and of course myself. And I got so over. I was by myself, and I was so overwhelmed. I ran out of food. I ran out of my backup of the backup, even. And I think it's the fact
Yikes.
that it's such a unique cuisine where people have never tried it and they've heard about it, or people who have tried it they haven't had it in such a long time and they miss it and they're like, oh my God, I
Miss it,
can't believe
yeah.
that there's a Filipino food truck out here. So and that's they get excited in that way. So as for competition, again, I know there are Filipino food carts maybe out there, maybe in the city of Portland, but nothing on the west side of Portland where I live in Hillsborough and Beaverton. But I do have to admit that I've already been to Portland twice within the past 2 weeks and been very
Hmm.
successful at the business centers that I went
Very
to.
good. Good job.
Yeah, yeah,
Good
yeah.
job.
So we went to the Wells Fargo Center a couple weeks ago, and just a couple days ago, I was at Montgomery Park and did very well at Montgomery Park. So yeah, so we're
Nice.
slowly going into Portland, but then again, I don't want to steal business from anyone because we're all in this together.
Or,
But
or
if I get invited, I'm coming with the truck. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Chef
Yeah.
Romel, my next question for you, of course, for a food truck, is it hard for you because, like you mentioned earlier, when it's hot weather,
Hmm.
it's it's hotter inside the truck,
Yes.
and if it's cold weather, it's much colder, of course, because of the layering of the truck. Now, my
Uh-huh.
question is, would you still how'd you call this? The food temperature of the food. I mean, the temperature of the food. Would it still be good since you're in a food truck, and when you give it to them, served hot still?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I mean, in the truck itself, I have all the components. It's a self-sufficient truck to where I have the proper, first of all, the proper refrigeration from a turbo cooler, fridge to a freezer, as well as even a sandwich prep, and also got warmers there. I have a 3 foot griddle, a 40 pound deep fry, and everything is cooked to spec. I mean, we keep the food warm,
Mhm.
um, and it's everything is warm. But then even with the lumpia, it's basically cooked on the spot there, and then also our empanadas is cooked on the spot. Our dessert lumpias, our pancit lumpia, everything is cooked on the spot while they wait, and it's not even a long wait for them. But then again, it's with the lunch service. A lot of these customers at the business centers, they're so strapped for lunch. They only have 30 minutes to maybe an hour break, so we already have the food prepared for them. It's more like turo turo style for us, you know.
Nice, nice, nice.
Oh,
Yeah, so they appreciate that so much because now they can get their food within less than 5 minutes,
fast. Yeah.
and then they can go sit in their car and enjoy lunch rather than having to, you know, eat their food without chewing. So, and that's why I think that's one reason why they always request us back, because of the fact that the food is delicious, first of all, but secondly, it also gives them time just to relax and enjoy lunch for once. Where I think a lot of I mean, I want to help all these other food trucks because I think that's where the corporate dining experience comes to play for what I had, because a lot of these employees, they only have 30 to 40 minute lunch breaks or so,
Yeah.
and by
Correct.
It's
offering
too
the two,
serving fast foods. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely, yes. I mean, even the pork belly, of course, the lechon, we'll go ahead and fry it. We'll put it on top of our griddle to keep it warm, and then we'll slice it in front of them, put the mang tomas
Oh,
over it.
yum.
Yeah,
Mang
oh
Tomas
yeah.
is the
So yeah, we call it the Uncle Thomas sauce.
Yep, that's right. And to all of you guys who are still watching, here are some of Chef Rommel's specialty. Chef Rommel, kindly tell them the food that we're gonna be
Oh, of
flashing
course.
on
There you go.
screen.
Your Shanghai lumpia. I mean, I make the Shanghai lumpia, beef and pork filling, and so on. The empanadas. It's an international empanada. Whether it's filled with your pork or chicken asado, or of course I'll do some Thai curry chicken in there, some pork
Oh, yeah.
menudo. I've also made some dessert empanadas as well, because with my brand. This is actually bistek over some Texas toast with some black garlic
Mm.
salsa,
Oh, yum.
and also
It's like
some
Philly
yellow.
cheesesteak.
Yeah, exactly. You see, it's an open
Already
biscuit.
had dinner and
Yeah,
making me
I
hungry,
haven't
Chef.
had lunch, babe.
yeah, and that's a black garlic salsa too. A lot of people don't know about
Oh,
black garlic, but that's a little special right there. You
Mm.
know,
okay.
and then of course with the yellow grape tomatoes on top of that to finish that off,
Oh,
and
Mhm.
of course
yum. Oh, here's the lechon kawale.
This is
I,
the lechon,
I
the bestseller.
oh my god, I when I
One of
actually
my
make that, I
favorites.
try not to turn around because it's calling me to taste it, and I'm like, no, I can't. I can't eat any more of this because it's that good, of course. So yes, that's the lechon kawali. That's gonna be on our menu now, just indefinitely. Now this is
Mhm.
something I created. It is pancit lumpia. A lot of
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought
Oh.
it was a vegetable lumpia, the one we call here the toge, right?
yeah, no,
Mhm.
it's
But it was
pancit.
pancit.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
pancit.
nice.
Vegetarian. It's vegetable pancit, and it's no meat in there. But I said, you know what? Let me roll this up and see how it comes out, and it actually holds its form and so on. And then I give them the soy sauce and lime juice with a little bit of garlic dipping sauce with it, and they
Yeah.
Mhm.
go crazy with it. So yes,
Yummy.
yes.
And how about this one, Chef? What's this?
No, that's my blueberry puto.
Puto.
Wow,
See,
this is
I knew
puto.
it was puto. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought it was a taro puto.
I'm very,
Uy,
I'm very, I'm
but
very
I'm
careful to say the
curious.
word puto here in Oregon. You know that.
well, of course, I have to put rice cake on the menu board. I gotta let people. But then I have to explain to them puto, true meaning, the Filipino meaning of puto.
And of course, this one, Chef Romel, I think you have a bite on this one.
Yes, yeah. I know, right? I did.
Empanada.
I just wanted to show the feeling.
Is this chicken or pork
So
empanada?
do you sell variety of that, like chicken, pork, like,
Oh yeah,
or in a
absolutely.
day you make the chicken, the next day you make the curry
No,
ones?
no, we sell at least two or three different types of empanadas. Actually, three or
Oh,
four different types every day. So from the Thai, and it's different varieties, not just Filipino fillings. So Thai chicken curry, Chinese pork,
Wow.
yeah, the
yeah.
bistek, bistek empanada.
I can feel
So
my tummy grumbling.
because that's what I want to do.
Oh
That's one the reason why it's
gosh.
truck being fusion because if people are kind of afraid to try, yeah, Benny, are you okay?
I'm not
Wait,
okay.
hold on, I have a question because
Yes, yes.
this food truck has been a fad before. Remember?
Hmm.
Hey, it
Yes,
was really a fad. Like everyone, every corner, there's a truck, right? And
yes.
then it was gone. There's
Hmm.
this moment that it was gone. Do you think it's coming back again?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, especially here in this area, and I think Benny knows that the Portland area is known to be food truck heaven. Food truck or food cart heaven because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
everywhere here, especially in the city of Portland. And I know now in here, even here in Hillsboro, they have one food pod with a few food trucks or food carts, but then they're going to start opening up two more food pods for other food carts or food cart businesses to park. So, I think it's not going to ever go away in this, especially in this market here, and maybe even in the United States, because again, with the pandemic happening, with the restaurants closing, that took such a hit on the hospitality restaurant business, and that's one reason why I decided to get a food truck rather
True.
than a brick and mortar, because again, it saved me
Yes.
money, and plus I didn't want to, I wanted to go to the people rather than the people coming to me, and I
I
think
want
right
I
now,
want to go to this place, this one.
yeah, there you go.
It looks yummy.
Yes,
It's
yeah,
like,
we did the barbecue skewers one time, and of course it sold very well, and then
Yeah.
people were just like, "Wow, when are you gonna do this again?" I was like, "When I have time," So, but yeah,
So
they
oh,
Chef
it's not.
Romel, for your dessert, you only have puto.
no, oh no, yeah, I don't think I have
I
a.
think he has to run also,
Turon.
right?
Yeah,
No, okay, this
turon.
this this is my champurrado lumpia.
Oh,
Champurado,
What's
yes.
inside?
Okay,
What's inside?
champurrado.
champurado,
Bananas.
no,
Oh, wow. Is that
champurado.
possible?
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't know it was possible because it's
because
Wait a
it's
wet,
minute.
too
right?
Hold
appetizing.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Yeah,
Wait a minute, wait a minute. Champurrado in
That's
egg
really
roll?
unique.
Turon?
yeah. Yeah,
How'd you make
I
that?
rolled it up. I rolled it up, and as you see, I added some white chocolate
White
more
chocolate, white
to it.
Yeah, yeah,
Hershey's.
yeah.
Some
But
chocolate
it's
coconut
supposed
flakes.
to be like thick, right? Like
Yep.
the one that it's gonna
Hmm.
be like that thick. It's
Yeah.
not supposed to be like watery like the
No, no,
real
you have to
champorado, right?
basically make
But
it
did you
thick and
already cook
everything.
the sticky rice, chef, before you
Yeah,
roll
you
it?
have to just cook. You just have to boil the rice itself, and then after that, you add
Yes.
your sweetened condensed milk, some evaporated milk, and then my next batch, I didn't have any white chocolate, so I added marshmallow to it. So the marshmallow melted into the champorado.
Oh
So
I think
man.
you're a genius, Chef
I
Romel.
know.
it's dangerous,
Chef
dangerously
Rommel, do
good.
you think you being a creative person helped you a lot with this business?
Yes,
Like
yes.
in merchandising, product presentation, even the fusions that you do, do you think this one really makes you the real Chef Rommel you know?
Well, I think it puts me. I don't think it puts me aside from everyone else because everyone out there is I can learn from them too. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I do. When I say I have a pancit lumpia to a
Yeah,
Filipino customer, they're like, "You have
yeah.
a what?" They've never heard
No,
of that.
because you need a trademark. There's a lot
Yes,
of chefs nowadays, right?
absolutely, absolutely, and that's what I've been doing is the products I have, especially the jams that I have, I've been creating. I mean, I make a loganberry and cream cheese empanada as a dessert,
See?
and I've done ube shopao as well. I've done
Mm.
a pumpkin
Ube
pie
Shopo.
empanada,
Wow.
and especially with Thanksgiving coming here in the United States. Oh yeah, you bet there's gonna be pumpkin pie empanada coming as well.
Wow.
Oh,
So
see?
So
Yeah, all that.
usually when you come home at night, you put on your lab coat and your hairs are all messed up.
You
Kind of
experiment? Do you
formulas,
experiment?
experiment, a lot of ingredients, Chef
I
Romel.
do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, I'll look at the stuff that I have now. I'm like, you know what? How else can I transform this to something different that no one else has? And that's what I did.
See?
I mean, I think about it. I mean, the no one does a ube siopa or ube, empanada, as well as even of course the champorado lumpia.
Yeah.
No one's
You
ever
know,
done.
here's what I learned with Chef Romel, right? You
Mm.
guys, you never stop being creative.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
Never stop
yeah,
being
never stop.
creative.
Because you never
Nothing
know.
is with Chef Romel, nothing is impossible.
No,
Those things
exactly. Yes,
those
right.
things that are not supposed to be mixed are now. So you
Let me
guys, yes,
let me
yes,
share,
Chef Romel.
let me share one thing with you. You know how the Vietnamese have banh mi sandwich, right?
Yeah,
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 yeah.
banh mi, yeah,
I get
We're gonna have
Vietnamese.
we're gonna have a banh mi with Filipino food in there, rather like with the
yeah.
lechon and also the bistec
Oh,
and the tapa. Oh, it's coming. All this is coming. That's one reason why I hired an employee, because the stuff that I'm selling now on the truck. That's just the tip of the iceberg. All these other things are
oh.
coming. So
Okay.
you got the tapa
Good.
banh mi, a
Goodbye
lechon,
diet. Goodbye. Goodbye diet.
yes, it's
But do
coming,
you
Danny.
think?
Come on, Danny, get
Do
on
you
the truck,
think
buddy.
I know.
with all these things that you were thinking and doing, don't you think it's not gonna compromise also your health?
Yeah, that's
Because you've been so busy with everything, right? Like,
right.
how's your private life coming? Going in with this business,
No,
with all
Actually,
this
yeah.
business.
That is my next question to you, Chef Romel. What
yes.
is your stress reliever after your busy day at work, your busy schedule? What is your stress reliever? And don't
I
tell me cooking.
no, 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 no.
Oh my
I can
gosh.
honestly say I can come home and I can open up a can of Chef Boyardee and be happy. So
Okay. I knew it.
that's the little kid in me that hasn't gone away. But but
Mhm.
to answer your question, guys, my stress reliever is when I look at my boys, my three boys.
There
And
you go.
they ask me,
Oh,
"So how's your day? How's your day, Daddy?" I have an 11-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 4-year-old. So almost
oh,
3
they're
years
still
apart.
young.
Yeah, and they're all three boys. And they ask me, "How was your day? Were you busy?" And they start asking me questions about this. But then after I start asking them, "So how was school?" And we start asking, "Well, what did you learn today?" And so on. So it takes them, just talking to them takes me away from that business-minded chef mentality, so I can
Mhm.
get down to to just being the dad. And then that's
There
one
you
thing.
go.
Yeah.
Even when I was in the corporate dining world for 10 years, the best part of my job is not going to cooking in people's different different companies' kitchens and traveling. But the best part was actually flying back home to the family. You know.
Do
Very
you
well
also
said.
teach them
Yes,
cook?
yes. I mean, I'm
Oh,
doing this for legacy.
oh
So
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
You
Wow.
absolutely.
better.
Yes,
Those
yes,
ideas are really
yeah.
great, actually.
Oh, I have three. Oh, the two. The 11-year-old and the 8-year-old are my testers. So I know if they like it, I'm doing something right. Because it's so
Do you
hard to
also
see.
have this family legacy that passed on to you that you still cook until now?
You mean like is there someone in my family that
Yeah,
cooks?
yeah, yeah. It's
Right.
the specialty of your
And their signature
family.
dish if they have.
Well,
Yeah.
my mother. Of course, I learned a lot of my Filipino cuisine from my mother, and a lot of the things. I mean, of course, on the food truck, I will introduce the sinigang, the dinuguan, and the nilaga. All that stuff is going to be introduced, and all those are the things I learned from my mom. And I actually made a pot of nilaga tonight for beef nilaga for my boys.
Yum.
Prior to getting on here, but those are
Yum.
things that I'm going to introduce to the general public, because I mean, I like the fact that I have Filipino customers coming up, but I wanna pinpoint the non-Filipinos, those especially that have never tried Filipino food, to come up and give me a chance, and if not even me a chance, go to a Filipino establishment that's near them and try Filipino food, because again, once you try it, you're gonna be hooked, because it's
That's
such
right.
an undiscovered cuisine to this day, even though it's been trending for the past maybe a couple years or so here. It's still such an undiscovered cuisine in the smaller markets in the United States. you know and it's my goal to bring it out to everyone, as many people as I can, I should say.
Actually, it's a really nice goal. Actually, it makes me proud as a Filipino.
Yeah,
Yes.
As you know, it's really hard to make a living, especially when you're Filipino in other countries.
yeah,
It's hard, and you being you, Chef Romel, we're really
yes.
proud.
And
Oh,
of
thank
Doing
course,
a great job.
it's really a big factor when you're unique, you're original and different. It's
Yes,
which
yes,
what you are doing, you really made a different fusion, experiment a
Yeah.
lot of things, which is really
yes.
good.
Never stop being creative.
No, no, no. That's the goal. That's definitely the goal, is to bring that, me being a Filipino is again, we are talented, creative people. We have something in us that'll turn heads, I think, and that's what I want to continue doing, is showing this. I mean, one thing I know I'm going to introduce a pork adobo with linguine soon, because I've done it
Wow.
before, and
Okay.
it did well.
It really makes me hungry.
Yeah, so and that's coming. So you
Oh my
fuse
god.
you fuse two things together, and you create something new. And it's it's coming. Benny, you're hungry.
All yours,
Yeah.
all of the things that you mentioned, my mouth is watering already, Chef Romel.
My, my, if you can only hear my tummy, it's crumbling really bad. But yeah, thank you so much, Chef Rommel, for guesting here in our show. And yet we can never be so proud, more prouder to be Filipino because of you. And yes,
And we appreciate you sharing your inspiring journey, your inspiring story to us, Chef Romel. Thank you. Before we finally say goodbye or wrap up the show, kindly invite them where you at tomorrow, and if they can cater as well.
Yeah,
your Facebook
Yeah, your
account.
Facebook, your
Uh,
Instagram, or any social media.
absolutely,
And where can they
absolutely.
call you? Go ahead.
Okay. I mean, as you see, my Romel's food truck is on Instagram. So Romel's food truck, Instagram, also Mendoza Food Alliance. You can find me on Instagram, and also Romel Mendoza on Facebook. I'm also on TikTok. Romel's food truck is on TikTok, and again, my I do post my schedule on those social media platforms. My number is all over the food truck, so even you can text me, send me a message on Messenger. I will answer you back directly. So the best thing is to actually text me if you want to know where I'm at directly. So, and I do post my schedule on Instagram. I'm gonna do a better job at actually letting you guys know. So, but yeah, you'll see my videos there. Next week we are all over the place. Next week, from the Nimbus Business Park to a few apartment complexes in the area here, like I think Lionsgate we're going to be at, apartment complex, as well as even Creekside. But I'll definitely verify that. But yeah, we're bringing the heat with the lechon and the pork or the barbecue pork. We'll probably bring back the chicken, barbecue chicken, the inasal, and a few other, maybe Korean bulgogi might make an appearance for the first time on the
Yummy,
truck and
yummy,
stuff.
yummy.
Yeah.
One
So
word, Chef Romel, yummy.
yeah.
By
for
the way,
me,
to
it's
all our
hungry.
yeah, to all our fans, followers, and viewers, we are going to share to you one of Chef Romel's recipe. It's sisig. I'm gonna give you a glimpse of how it looks like. There
Yes.
you
There it
go.
is.
All right.
Yeah.
And the other one right here is an open face gimbap, Korean gimbap, an open face with
Mhm.
sisig on top of that. As you see,
Wow.
it's
Wow,
sweet
sisig.
right there. So
Right,
yeah.
guys, we're gonna share you the recipe on our Facebook page,
So
of
make sure to
course.
add us up
Make
also
sure.
on our Facebook account.
Chef
And
Romel,
if
before you go, one last question.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any regrets of being in culinary business?
Not one regret at all. Again, I stress the fact that it's a hobby, not a job, and I live by that, and I'm going to continue to live by that, because I truly enjoy what I do, and also being a Filipino, sharing our cuisine and culture to the world. And it just brings me joy that it's time for us to rise up in any field that we are in. So I definitely enjoy what I do. So absolutely no regrets.
Very well said. Chef
Very
Rommel, do you have
well.
any shout outs before we finally say goodbye?
Okay, guys, everyone, follow me on Facebook, on Instagram, and so on. Shout out to my family in the East Coast, in the West Coast, and into the Philippines. Thank you. Maraming salamat. Thank you very much.
All
Thank
right.
you so much, Chef
Maraming
Romel.
salamat sa iyo, Chef Rommel. We'll see you in Oregon. We'll see you here.
Yes, yes. And thank you too very much. I really thank you both for having me on. I really appreciate it. I'm very, very honored to be here with you
Thank you
guys.
so much for your
Thank you
time and for
also.
your story. Inspiring story. I'm hungry.
Nabubulol na ako sa gutom.
That's your fault, Chef Rommel.
Gutom.
Benny, I'm gonna have to deliver something to you one of these days.
Hey,
Watch. It's gonna happen.
can you send
Hopefully you're
something here in
close
the
by.
Philippines?
Yeah, I know.
even
I'm sending you something.
even
All
though
right.
I'm here in the Philippines and we can eat that anytime, any day, but I think it's really different. I
It's
really
gonna
wanna
be Stale,
try.
Crizel, Portland to
Or maybe I'll send you one of
Philippines.
the hats. I'll send you a hat. I'll send
Oh
you one of my
wow.
hats. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Nice.
See, it's a
All
Thank
right.
Rommel hat.
Wow. Can you sign it,
you.
please?
Yeah, and I don't know. Just to let you know, just to give you an idea, my hats are actually they're. I have a local vendor, the Avenue PDX, who is actually Filipino owned.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
nice.
And then what makes these special is that they're numbered.
Oh,
Oh,
so it's limited.
This
okay.
one's number 33.
Limited.
This is going to one of my customers, but I'm only making 50 of the black hats. So
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
yeah.
Wow,
So
wow,
guys,
wow, wow.
see, he has
Business is
merch.
booming for
He
Chef
has merch.
Rommel.
He has book. He has a
Yeah.
book. He has merch, and he has a truck.
And one more thing, one last thing. I am working on a second book.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, 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 nice.
The
So you
body's already
you
All
guys
right.
done.
better watch. And
So
thank
hopefully,
you.
Chef Rommel, you could share that also to our Facebook page, or we will
Yes,
share it
post
on
it.
our social media, post it for you as well. And
Sounds great.
we're here to support you. Support Pinoy Lokal as always.
There you go. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you
Thank
both
you,
All right.
very
Chef
Maraming
much.
Romel.
salamat. God bless. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Advance
Thank
happy
you.
Thanksgiving. I'll see you
Yes.
around.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
All
Maraming
right. Take
salamat.
care.
Bye-bye.
Thank
All
you.
right. All right.
Grabe.
Partner. Nagutom
Wait
ako
lang,
doon.
wait lang. Ang sakit na ng tiyan ko. Nagugutom na
Sige
talaga
na.
ako. Parang ang hirap ata yung show natin nasa tanghali.
Sorry na.
Kasi nakakagutom. Pero, alam mo, marami ako natutunan kay Chef
Ako
Romel.
din.
Dito ako natutuwa sa show na to.
Same din.
Each and every guest na talagang nila natin has a unique story.
Sorry.
Ang
Behind
alam
it.
mo ko, partner, pag-usapan natin kung ano natutunan natin ngayong araw na to, ha. Para sa akin, being creative. You know, I know pandemic hits each and everyone here sa atin, but let's not be scared anymore. Be creative. Do what you love. Di ba, partner? Gaya natin.
Correct.
We do what we love. Di ba? Kahit na sabihin natin, wala pa yan profit sa una. Pero in time, you know, you'll be successful
Darating.
in every
Darating.
way. Ikaw,
Correct.
partner, ano
Ako, ang dami kong
natutunan mo?
natutunan. Una, natutunan ko
Kung
na pwede
gutom.
palang gawing turon ang champurado.
Why not? Di ba?
Di ba? Pwede palang
Why
gawing ubi
not?
ang siopaw. Wow.
O, di ba? Huwag
And
ka,
other than
magkakaroon pa
that,
siya ng pumpkin.
like other than that, parang ayoko nang matutunan mag-diet.
Pero ito yung mga story na nakaka-proud maging Pinoy, di ba, partner?
That is true.
Kahit saang mundo ka pa ngayon, lugar dito sa mundo, nakaka-proud. Ito mga ganitong klaseng Pinoy na talagang di
They
nila
never
nakalimutan
stop
talaga.
from striving and they
Hindi
are
nila
always
nakalimutan na
proud
roots
being
nila,
Filipino.
di ba?
Correct.
And so anyway, guys, thank you so much. Magpro-promote muna kami ni
Yep.
ng aming next show, partner.
Guys, don't forget our next guest, our chef for next week. We have Chef Joe from Hawaii. She'll be joining us on November 17 in the Philippines, 16 over here in the States. And Chef
And
Maria from California, fashion model slash chef slash flight attendant. Ibang
o,
story
di
naman
ba?
ito.
Interesting, di ba? Ganon
Interesting.
kaganda ang show natin. Paganda ng paganda, partner. Pero gusto ko rin batiin ang Bagtas Productions who are watching right now. Please watch out to their sa susunod nilang big show, please do add them up on their Facebook, Pagtas Production. Ayan.
Correct.
Anyway,
At marami
guys.
din silang concerts na parating. And talking about concerts,
Oo.
don't forget, November 19, Louis
Ayan,
Rowan's birthday
partner.
concert, Nostalgia, a birthday concert, dinner concert. I'll be hosting the show as well. November 19 at Mekong Bistro. And November 19 as well in California naman. Punta tayong California. Ayan po. Of course, this
Ayan.
is
Jonna
Los Angeles
Blaza.
Kids Fashion Show. Of course, our friends in North America, we invite you to witness another superb fashion show with the exclusive design of international fashion designer Sir Jonna Blaza. Los Angeles Kids Fashion Show, November 19 at 11455 Burbank Boulevard, Northwood Road, California, 91601. For tickets, please call Priscilla at 626-484-0807.
Ayan, diba?
Meron board din, November 19 at 10 p.m. Susunod na.
Oo.
Magandang topic.
Maganda yan. Anyway, partner, thank you so
Paalam na
much
po
for
kami.
today.
Happy weekend po sa inyo. Kain ka na.
Thank you.
Ako kakain ako ulit. It's all
Thank
your
you,
fault,
everyone, for
Rommel.
always supporting us. Well, partner, sa mga gustong makanood ng replay netong show, please do add our YouTube account. It's at 89.5 The PlayRoom. Ayan, like and subscribe.
That is right. And of course, we play the hits. We play it nice.
We play it
Paalam na po. Happy weekend.